As reported recently, a large landing ship was damaged in Novorossiysk during a strike by the Ukrainian Defense Forces. Krym.Realii investigated the nature of this ship and how its decommissioning will impact the Russian naval group in the Black Sea. Recall on the night of November the 25th, members of the Security Service of Ukraine's Alpha Special Operations Center, along with the Security and Defense Forces, used long-range drones to strike several military and logistics facilities at the Novorossiysk seaport in Russia's Krasnodar Krai. According to preliminary data, a large Project 1171 landing ship, which was moored at the naval base, was damaged, said a source who wished to remain anonymous because he was not authorized to officially comment on the situation. The following day, November the 26th, military analyst Tom Bike published satellite photographs of the Novorossiysk military harbor before and after the Ukrainian strike on social media, noting that 2 tugboats were moving a Project 1171 Tapir landing ship through the bay. A Crimean military expert, a former Ukrainian officer, and a lieutenant colonel in the Ukrainian Armed Forces Reserve told Krym.Realii, on condition of anonymity, that the damaged landing ship is one of the worst targets among the ships stationed at the Novorossiysk naval base. This is a very old ship, about 50 years old. Formally, it's listed as a combat ship of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, but it's long been used as a regular carrier of military cargo between ports. That is, in the mode typically used by auxiliary fleet vessels. It would have been better to target a real combat ship such as a frigate, a small missile ship, or a submarine, all of which launch caliber missiles at Ukraine, the expert shared. According to him, landing ships of this class and size have already outlived their usefulness and are unlikely to be used in current and future battles. The amphibious operation to seize Odessa and Mykolaiv, using 10 to 12 large landing ships, which Russia had planned at the outset of a full-scale invasion, completely failed. After the sinking of the cruiser Moskva, the group lost its air defense, and the ships were simply unable to approach the shore as the Ukrainian armed forces would have destroyed them. And this is despite the fact that Ukraine had neither aerial drones nor naval drones at the time. The retired lieutenant colonel recalls. At the same time, a retired captain of the 3rd rank, who previously served in the Ukrainian military intelligence, believes that the strike could have targeted another ship. He spoke to Krym.Realii on condition of anonymity. According to information from Sevastopol, Russian ships are being moved between bays from berth to berth almost daily, often at night. A similar practice likely exists at the Black Sea Fleet base in Novorossiysk. The Ukrainian Defense Forces determine strike targets based on satellite reconnaissance data, intelligence, and visual observation. If a target changes coordinates, a drone operator won't have time to locate it seconds before the strike and adjust its flight path. In any case, it's good that another Russian ship was downed, the former intelligence officer shared. The Project 1171 Tapir large landing ships are among the oldest, not only in the Black Sea Fleet, but in the entire Russian Navy. Design of the Tapir-class ships began in 1959. For stealth, the large landing ships have an exterior similar to a dry cargo ship with a superstructure only at the stern. The ships are equipped with deck-mounted cranes for cargo loading. Their cruising range is 4,800 miles at a speed of 60 knots, and their full displacement is 4,650 tons. The ship can accommodate up to 20 main battle tanks, 45 armored personnel carriers, or 50 trucks, and 300 to 400 troops. The Project 1171 landing ship can carry up to 1,000 tons of various cargo. The bow contains a compartment for armored vehicles along with a landing ramp covered by sliding doors. A folding hatch at the stern is used for loading and unloading operations. Before the start of the full-scale war against Ukraine, the Russian Black Sea Fleet had 3 Project 1171 Tapir ships: Saratov, Orsk, and Nikolai Filchenkov. In 2023 to 2024, the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully attacked Project 775 large landing ships, which were transporting military cargo between ports in Crimea and Novorossiysk. The Novocherkassk landing ship was sunk on December the 23rd, 2023, in the port of Feodosia, and the Caesar Kunikov landing ship was sunk on February the 14th, 2024, at sea near Alupka.
An obituary published in a public group in the Russian city of Bryansk described an incident in the war that went unnoticed. Ukraine wiped out an entire company of occupiers with a single blow. The incident occurred near the city of Volchansk, where the Russian army is attempting to advance. The obituary reports the death of 18-year-old local resident Arkady Klamidov. The young man was imprisoned in a penal colony as a child, before finishing school. He was never released. During his time in prison, the Russian signed a contract with the Russian Ministry of Defense and went to the front. He served in the 82nd Motorized Rifle Regiment. The occupier soon took his own life. The funeral message from his relatives clearly states, he died in the Volchansk direction during morning formation as a result of artillery fire. His entire company perished with him. The destruction of an entire Russian armed forces unit in a single strike has been confirmed. Such incidents are extremely rare for Russia to publicly acknowledge, so the publication attracted particular attention. Military experts immediately speculated that the company might have been targeted by a HIMARS, but neither side officially commented on the situation. Volchansk remains one of the most tense sections of the front. The Russian army launches daily meat assaults, attempting to capture the city. Commander of the 225th Separate Assault Regiment, hero of Ukraine Ola Shiryev says that Russia is increasing pressure on the front, but such tactics are costly for it. Each settlement turns into heavy losses for the occupiers, especially in the battles for Pokrovsk. Shiryev described Russian tactics along the entire front line as meat assaults, when Russia, due to its numerical superiority, tries to suppress much smaller Ukrainian forces, effectively throwing soldiers into a meat grinder, which gives it some success. Even if Russia manages to take Pokrovsk, the major emphasize that the price of this offensive will be extremely high. Every large city or smaller town will be a serious battle for them, and the Russians will lose a large number of personnel here in Pokrovsk. So Pokrovsk is one of those places where they will lose a lot of troops, and their combat potential will be seriously damaged, said Shiryev. Recall, every Russian soldier who does not want to die in meat assaults has a chance to save his life. To do this, they need to apply to the special Telegram bot. Named, I Want to Live, it helps Russian soldiers to surrender to do so safely. The project is implemented by the Coordinating Headquarters for Prisoner of War Affairs, in coordination with the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence. Recruiters are being sent to the front in areas of responsibility where either the required number of male population to meet the set norms is absent, or it is impossible to carry out the recruitment campaign within the established timeframes. This indicates the Kremlin's complete unawareness of the state of affairs in the controlled regions and the urgent need to replenish losses, writes Ukraine's defense intelligence.